Good day, traders. This is Rich with some price action on the markets currently for 21 p.m. September 24th, 2020, Thursday. Interesting day for sure. We had some of the players back in the mix. The EV, the electric, the Chinese, who knows, plays that are just making drastic moves. Creating tons of FOMO, like yesterday on SPI. So check out that video I did yesterday. It's a weird market. It's definitely a weird market. We have a lot of people wanting to make a lot of money, and they're taking a lot of risks, only to realize they're going to get hammered. Some did well. Some caught this early move on this PEC. PECK from 492 up to 14. But if you're buying up here, or even if you're holding up here, look at this gap down from that level. Let's say you got in at 10 and you're like, oh yeah, I got 14. And you're like, oh shoot, it just halted on the way down. I couldn't get out fast enough. And then it opened up at 10, and the next thing you know, you're down at 9, right? So you gotta be really careful with these things. 27 million shares on this one. The thing that I liked, and the only reason I took it today, and I only took 2 trades today. One was a winner, and one was a loser. There was really nothing setting up. The markets were gapping down, and then they rallied pretty good to the north side, got green. I'll go over the trade that I lost on. I actually liked this trade coming back through 370 on Tesla. It went to 380, and then notice the price here hit 385. I took a small trade here going back through 380, and actually I took a small trade here going back through 380 and lost on it. But the magical number was 385, and I tried getting in on this one. It happened right here, going to 385 because this was the previous high, and just went all the way up to almost 400 without looking back. Eventually it did at the end of the day. However, I missed that trade. It was like, I can't even tell you how much it was, 45, so it's almost $15, call it 14. Would I have taken 14 off of it? Probably not, but I would have gotten a lot, and I would have held. I definitely would have held at least, I was going to go with 50, maybe even 100 shares on this trade. I really liked it that much. It was a big miss. Definitely a big miss. Probably would have been the last trade I took today, because there's no, actually after that, I didn't take anything else. Just a kind of cruddy, choppy, everything kind of fell off at the end. Trump was speaking or something like that, and he caused the markets to kind of drift lower. So, stocks like Apple led the rally this morning with this move, which got the markets kind of going into the north side green, because they were definitely red this morning, and then kind of fizzled off at the end of the day and got back to up a point, maybe 1%. So that pretty much covers the overall market conditions in my trade with Tesla. Let's get into what I did trade, or I did win on, and that was the stock of NETE. Now, we talked about, or at the beginning of this video, I talked about all the FOMO trades, and this was one of them. NETE was one of those stocks that was very active in the morning, and I decided I was going to put my hands in the basket and try to get one of these moves to the north side. The key with going in the pre-market, and I noticed a lot of the YouTubers and guys that are saying they're making all this money are trading the pre-market, because there's no halting, there's no shenanigans, as many shenanigans as you would see in the open market. But in the pre-market, you're allowed to move a stock without really, it's not going to halt like it did like SPI on the way down, or PEC. But in the pre-market, you're just going to see price fluidity. It's going to be kind of nice. So let's get into it here. We'll go to the 24-hour, and this is around the time I started looking at the charts. I'm going to go back on 2 minutes. The reason why I like this trade was because it did set up. If it didn't set up, I wasn't going to take it. So right at this point, I was watching it, and again, I was like, shoot, it went from 7 or 650 or whatever to 11, and I said 11.50, so forth. I said to myself, does this thing have what it takes to continue higher? And based on yesterday, it's only because of yesterday happened, this is the stock in the same space that's going to make the move. And if it does make the move, it's going to go. So I go in here at so it comes through 11 on the way back down. So hit a low of 1023. Yeah, 1023 was the low. And as it was coming out back up, I say, you know what? I'm going to get in if it breaks the 11 area. So it breaks the 11 area, chops around for a minute. Actually, it goes against me. I'm only in for 100 shares. So it wasn't like a significant. So if it dropped a point against me, I'd lose $100. And if it dropped 2 points against me, I would lose, $200. So I was like, okay, I'll just go for 100 shares. So it went against me like 30 cents. And then it broke up again. And then it didn't look back until later, of course. But it did not look back in the pre-market. So I was trading using the matrix on it. And I was entering, sells. But I didn't realize that my duration was set for day on the matrix, and it was actually set for day plus here on the level 2 order entry form. So I was entering sells really quick once it went in my favor, and I was like, what is going on? And I started freaking out because I thought I was having other platform issues, but I thought, I didn't realize it wasn't set for day plus. It was set for just day. So that means it needs to be during that market hours. Day plus means before and after market. So meanwhile, the stock is still going up. The stock is still going up. I'm in for my 100 shares, and I'm not able to get out. So this time around, I got lucky. I got really lucky, and price action kept going in my favor. Next thing I know, I'm up like 3 points on the thing. So by the end of the day, with 100 shares, and a move from 11 to about 17. So if we go back to this, you can see it got up to about 1750. My last sell was in the 16s on this one for like 5 shares or something like that. I ended up making $200 on 100 shares in about 10 minutes. Obviously it moved up 6 points and only made 200, but I was selling out. I didn't think it was going to go up that high. And I tried holding some, and then it started pulling back. So then I got out on the rest. There was definitely some scale out sales I could have waited on, but I think I would have missed. I would have probably only made like 50 to $75 on this trade if I had not screwed up the order entry on the day plus scenario. So that's something to consider. That's your lesson of the day. But here's the second lesson of the day. The second lesson is, look at this stock. These are daily candles. Anytime this thing is gapped up, look what it does. Dies, 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 and then dies. So, on this day, it opened pretty much near where it closed and went up. So this is the only really good day here. And look at the volume on this thing here. Okay. So these types of stocks, you don't really want to, that's why the pre-market's so big on these things, because the intraday market is pretty crappy. So that pretty much sums up the trading day. Ended up with 124. That stupid Tesla trade, and missing that one Tesla trade really messed me up. But on the other side, I got lucky with this one. So I would say that kind of works itself out. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, close out the week, Friday. And want to let you know, I did contact TradeStation today. They're looking into my transaction on Monday. I'm going to say this. I am not too pleased with their customer service. There's not even a hello. There's not even a goodbye. It's pretty blunt and to the point. I get that, but at the same time, it could be a little bit friendly. We're in a situation where we're worried about our money, and they're just kind of, standoffish and not really pleasant to talk to. I just hope they fix my issue, and my E-Trade account might be funded tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that. Maybe I'll trade that in the afternoon or something like that. I don't have my platform set up for that, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Anyway, close out the video. You guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.